Hey everyone, Cynics here, and I just wanted to do a short video talking a little bit about paneling when it comes to industrial design. And I know some of you are sick of all the mechanical design stuff, but don't worry, this is going to be the last mechanical design related video for a while. I just wanted to cap it off because I've mentioned the word paneling a few times in some of the latest videos. And I don't think I really ever explained it properly, so let me just go over it real fast. Paneling can refer to both the panels that kind of cover the surface of a mechanical object, as well as even the panels that are kind of on a more broken up object. And this is actually the same thing, it's just that one is more closely seamed. So you can see these would be the panel lines. And this could have, panel lines too and whatever. But this is what I'm talking about when I'm referring to paneling. And there's, I would say, maybe four main reasons as to why this kind of comes into real importance when you're doing mechanical design. And I'll just list those over here. One is form. This can be a very useful way of showing the form of an object, and I'll just write these out real fast and then give a quick example. So the next one is function. You can show your function of your mechanical design using your paneling. Let's see, what else? There's scale. You can definitely kind of hint at the scale of the object with your paneling. And the last one is just aesthetics, which hopefully works in harmony with the three that are above it. But you can also just kind of use paneling as a purely aesthetic thing, doing cuts that kind of add to some interest and make your piece more fun to look at. So let's see, real fast, let's just draw a shape here and I'll talk about form. So we have this just kind of oval shape. Now, we don't know exactly what the shape is. We just see a flat oval. We don't know what kind of three-dimensional form it has. But if we were to say quickly draw a line like this, all of a sudden it feels more like a three-dimensional object that comes forward into space and goes back into space on the top and bottom. And that's just kind of the basic way you can quickly show the form of an object using paneling. And you'll see this a ton in a lot of people's artwork. And it's definitely useful because, you can show your form without having to worry a whole bunch about your lighting and things like that. And it just kind of solidifies everything you're trying to show off, because otherwise people might not know what they're looking at. So you want to quickly be able to guide them and show that this is a round shape, or this shape goes inward or outward. And let's see, you can also, make it face the other direction if it faces that direction. Obviously, this is the same shape to begin with, but, as soon as you put a line in, suddenly, okay, it's facing back into the distance, or it's facing forward, and minor things like that. Now, you can also show function, and I'll quickly get rid of this stuff just to go over that. So let's say you have a, just a panel of some kind, just a flat panel. Now you can quickly show how this either functions or comes apart. Maybe there's like, a chunk back here that actually moves. So this can, come apart in some way. Maybe it opens up, this way. Or maybe it just turns, back and forward into space, like it's a wing of a plane. But the function aspect is pretty important, especially when it comes to like showing how things open up and move, because that kind of becomes a big deal. So if you had like a cockpit of a mech, let's just say this is a really simple mech, and there's like, little arms here and there, and it could have little feet. But let's say this is a mech, and you need to kind of show quickly like how the function, like how the cockpit would open up and how you get inside it. I usually, do like a simple thing, like this, which implies that it probably opens up, this way. Or, you can do anything to that effect. Maybe it opens up this way, and people can crawl inside and do all kinds of stuff like that. So this is just kind of the functional side of paneling. The next thing is the scale, and let me just go back to this one up here. Obviously, if you just do like single thick lines here and there, it portrays a scale that's kind of small. But if you were to say, draw a lot of paneling lines everywhere, it would suddenly seem like a much larger object. Just because of the function of how things are built. We can't build things with one giant piece of metal. We generally have to piece things together, especially when they're really large. So you think about things like, a battleship or something, and it's all, just little chunks that are pieced together. And that's kind of how we can build those larger objects. So we want to show that in our mechanical designs, once again, using our paneling. And all of this above stuff should be working well with your aesthetics, because that's kind of the main thing. Don't forget that this is for artistic purposes, so we want to make sure everything we're doing is making our piece look better. And in general, you don't want to like make your paneling like too square and boring. You want to kind of bring in some personality anywhere you can, and just kind of doing things that kind of, I don't know, break up the shapes into more interesting shapes within those shapes, and just kind of give it something interesting to look at. So I usually avoid anything that makes it look too blocky, even if that just means kind of rounding corners. If you had to do something blocky, that'll at least make it more aesthetically pleasing. So you round those corners instead of just making it, a crappy little rectangle. And that all kind of goes into the aesthetical side of things. So I think that about sums up paneling. Once again, just try to avoid those really boring kind of flat shapes. You want to kind of use your paneling as much as possible to make your piece actually more interesting instead of, more boring or something like that. But yeah, anytime you have a silhouette of like a whatever mechanical thing, that's kind of when you get to go in and play with your paneling and do all kinds of fun stuff like that. And quickly turn it into something that's more interesting, more fun to look at, just kind of better all around. So I guess that's about it, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back shortly with something non-mechanical related.